Good morning. It's that AM hustle. For anyone that's new to the channel, thank you for coming and welcome. For more helpful tips and content, click Show More under each video. Today, we're going to jump into a small business and why you need one. I have a lot of people that come into the Hustle Mindset Project, come to this channel, and they have an employee mindset trying to start a business or trying to start a side business or trying to start something. And the employee mindset is, if I do work today, I get paid today. The business owner mindset is, I create value today, I get paid in the future, and sometimes years later after creating the value. If you were just strictly on that run and gun, I got to put in hours, I got to get paid, my recommendation to you is get a part-time job. That way you can get that guarantee of X amount of hours, you're going to make X amount of dollars. Because of the business, you don't have those guarantees. But if you start your business part-time while you have that job, and this is something that really kills people when they even do this, they'll start that business part-time and incorporate the business income into the lifestyle income, and they can never scale the business ever. So it's like you're creating a job that you cannot grow into a business because you're not properly handling it. How do we get to these mindsets? Essentially, it's a lack of watching someone or being mentored into the true process of success, which takes time. You got to be consistent with what you're doing with your business. You have to be consistent with your efforts going into your business. But here you are trying to leave that corporate mentality or that job mentality, but it's that thing that holds you back, but you cling to. One of the big things that I have, and I get a lot of people who call me and they want to talk, and the conversation is like this. And like I said, I have no problem talking to someone, but there's so much going on that to sit and talk to someone that doesn't know what they're trying to do and want me to help them flesh out all that stuff and have conversation after conversation after conversation. That is because it's essentially, there is a part of your business education that you're trying to leap over. And that's one of the reasons that I created Hustler Mindset Life Skills for you people who are not ready to jump into a real business. It's just not ready. It's just not. I mean, I used to think that people could do it, but I forgot my journey because it was such a long time ago. I'm comfortable with working really hard for a week or two or a month or two and not getting paid later. That's not many people. It's just not many people. It's not reality. It's just not feasible for many people. That's what happens when you write a book. There's a new project that's going to be going on with Periscope. Make sure you follow me on THSM on Twitter, and then you can check out the scopes. I'm going to write that book starting soon. And I'm going to, like I said, share it on Periscope. But I know I'm not going to get paid for that book for a long time. That's just reality. It's going to be a great deal of effort into putting together the book, and I get paid later. But I've done it so many times, I'm comfortable with that process. Now back to you. You can't just leapfrog over, all right, I get paid every week, I get paid every 2 weeks, I get paid once a month, to I don't know when I'm getting paid. And that's one of the things that I get with people, and folks call me mean because I tell them the truth. You take this course, I can't give you a guarantee because I don't know you. I've had this conversation with you before, and I'm gonna have it with you today. If you're not highly self-directed, if you're not massively motivated, entrepreneurship may not be for you. That's just reality. And that's one of the truisms that I'm accepting because it's 6 years doing this, and I've come across a great many people, all walks of life, literally all over the world. In human nature, is roughly the same everywhere. It pretty much is. I would say immigrants have a higher level of motivation because sometimes they're coming from really, really bad circumstances. And when they get here and they're like, oh, this is easy. I don't have to go down to the river to get water to feed the family every day. I just turn on this faucet. I mean, you have people who've come from those backgrounds who are here who are just like, oh, this is awesome. You complain? What do you complain about? What are you complaining about? And shoot, it's not like a go date your toe. And you have people, and I honestly just believe that so many people are doing so moderately well that there's no motivation, which causes this thing. Because when I see these quotes of I'm going to start a small business or a business so I can have more free time, I crack up. That at some point may happen with your future, but in the beginning, that's going to be the last thing that's going to happen. You will be working your ass off on a level that you've never done before if you want to be successful. I know I'm an internet marketer, and I know you see it on Facebook and you see all of these ads of, hey, do this system and it's going to be really easy. I'm going to tell you about my systems. They're effective, they work, but you will work your ass off. I know I just lost some sales because it's not easy. It's not easy, but that's the reality. If you do the work, you'll be successful, but it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be quick. Well, oh shit, lost some more sales, but that's the reality, because I would rather have a person watch this hustler mindset philosophy video about business and come away with the truth and then come into the system with proper expectations versus some you don't have any remarkable skill sets. You have created no value in yourself, yet you think someone's going to pay you 6 or 7 figures a year when you just want it. That is foolish. And I see a lot of that. And there are people that I don't mess with or go on their podcast or go on their shows, and no one here on YouTube because other people have reached out to me. And it's just nothing but fuckery. I don't even want to be associated with these people because I know what they're selling is really not effective and is really not going to work that quick. And also, price. You pay $10, $20 for something and you expect to make enough full-time income off that information. I'm just saying. It's books are out there. I've got this book. Like I said, I haven't read it yet. It needs to move into the nightstand, but there are already books on the nightstand. So it's going to stay out here until I read those books. But essentially, you've got to create value. Now let's get down to why you need a small business. Essentially, with the small business, it is your training wheels for your business education. One, you have your job or you have another source of income, and you can make all of these mistakes. And when I go through my journey, that's what I did. I started most of my businesses before I got into the office furniture deal when I was in the military. I started 5 businesses and they failed massively. It was just jacked up. But I had an income, and I spent all my money on my businesses, but I was able to go to the mess hall. So I had a place to stay. I had food. And it was just me, and I could take those risks. And if you're a young person, between 16 and 24, I got some advice to you. Do not be in a damn hurry to get married and have kids. If you want to start a business, the time is now, not, when you're 30 some, not when you're 40s. No, this is the time to do it. There are so many tools. There's so many things that you can use that you can start a business, and you might be making more money than your parents after 2 years of vigorous effort. That's the reality. I see it all the time because, I do a great deal of research to help my clients, to help myself, and I see it because the tools that are out there are sick. The things that you can do as a one-person business are insane right now, but they take application and work. So if you're between 16 and 24, you have no kids, you don't rush it. Put all your energy into starting your business, travel. I mean, I feel fortunate that my feet touched foreign soil before I was 20. And I got to go and meet with people, and I got to hang out with people and learn of other cultures long before, I got married and had kids. If you do that, just do that, because you can get married and have kids and go to France, but it is not the same as if you're like 19 years old, it's just you got a pocket full of money, and a wild ambition. It is not the same. You can have a good time. Not going to say you can't have a good time with the wife and kids, but it is not the same, because I did it and I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I lived in Japan. I'm glad I did all that stuff, because now looking back, it becomes much more tricky once you start to do that. And let's get back to the business. Start your business today. Start it today. I don't start something. Get a business book. I would recommend the $100 startup. You can, it's like $3 Kindle edition, I believe, or you can go ahead and get a used paperback copy. Get that book, go through the stories, and pick something, model something. You know, go on YouTube, look at something, steal. Go ahead and steal. Find someone that's got a concept. Go ahead, reverse engineer it. Try it, see if it works. If it doesn't, the experience that you get will help you with the next thing. Because of the I'll tell you about the first business that I started in the military, and it's going to crack you up. I had this wild idea because I worked with this lady whose dog was her child. She was a trendsetter. She was before all of these other people who have dogs who are literally family members. When I was growing up, your dog stayed outside. Your dog was a pet. Today, animals are not pets. Animals are extensions of the family, for real. And if you don't believe that, offend a pet owner or put up some crazy stuff on Facebook, and you will see it rain down. I mean, honestly, I think there are some people who care more about animals than they care about human beings. To me, I think human beings are more important, but there are people who put pets above human beings. And so the business was Pictures with Your Pooch. That was the name. I went ahead and bought $1,500 35 millimeter camera, got a credit card at Wolf Camera, put an ad in the Atlanta Journal Constitution, was like $120. I spent $2,000 on this business. Put the ad there. Oh, I was in the barracks at Schofield, not Schofield Barracks, but Fort McPherson here in Atlanta when it was open. Had a phone installed. That was like $120. I'm just spending money. Put that ad up, and I'm waiting by the phone. They're going to call. Now, let me tell you all of the shit that I did wrong. I got this a camera that I didn't know how to use. I put an ad in the paper, didn't know that the ads had expiration dates. So that ad they gave it to you, like the lady on the phone said it would run for like so many weeks, but it was really expensive. Then I had this camera, did not take any photography skills, and I didn't research the market. I just jumped right in, and it just did not work out. I was very, very frustrated. Now, let's go ahead and reverse engineer that with hindsight and wisdom and years of business experience, what I would do today. First thing I would do is survey everyone that I know who has a pet. I would go to them and like, yo, I really have this idea of taking a picture of you and your pet. And the thing is, since everyone has cell phones, everyone has, there's going to be an element that has to be radically different, because they could just pull out their phone and take a great picture. So that's just not just selling pictures. It's got to be an experience. So I would talk to them and I would ask them questions. What kind of pictures would you like to see of your dog? Or, just go ahead, and I would get maybe 30 to 50 strangers. Anyone I see with a dog, I'll say, hey, I got a question for you. I would go out and do my market research with people who have pets, not some online demographic stuff. I'll actually go out and talk to those people. Then after I got that information, I would take the feedback, and I would formulate the business plan. But everyone that I talked to, I would make sure I got their contact information, because they would be the testing ground for that business. Then I was like, hey, I took your information. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking about charging $150 for this product, but since you were so kind and you really gave me your time, and Emily, your dog, was amazing, let's do this. $25, and also, can I use you and Emily on the website? Oh, okay. So you've done your research with people who are your target market. You've got an email list because you've kept up with them. Then you're now getting people who are going to buy your product, and you're going to get referrals. Now, I didn't know any of that stuff because I was so green and stupid, and I was really young. I think I was 21, 22, something like that. And that's how I would do it today, because I wouldn't know before I spent a dime if that business was going to work, because Everything I just told you on how to start that business would have not cost me anything but time. Nothing but time. And I would have money coming in before I started spending money. And that's how I start all of my businesses now. I do not do what I did before. Now, let's talk about another business that was successful, but not successful. I'll break that down. The first year I was in the contract furniture the first year I was in the contract furniture business. I did 1.2 million gross sales, and I fucked up so bad that I literally brought home maybe 35. Massive learning lesson there. I did so many things wrong. The business was viable and it was making money. And I actually did better with what started that business, which was GC Solutions, when I did the thing with Nancy, where I had a job. Because what's the whole point of this? I had a job and I conducted a side business that I did from a profit standpoint substantially better, because I was selling used furniture, which, I'll tie all this together. I was selling used furniture and I was getting 50% off the rift, and it was quick money. Whereas the new furniture, that's a long-term sale, because just briefly, first of all, you got to find the deal. You got to find the people who will buy the furniture, which means you got to reach out to them 6 months to a year before they move. So it's a very long-term sale. You got to have this fat ass pipeline. So that was just it. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, because I can't have another year like this of 80, 90, 100-hour weeks. I knew what I was doing, but I did it wrong, if that makes sense. Then jumped into the storage auction business. I took the lessons from the 1.2 million failure and I took the lessons from the GC Solutions and I put that into the storage auction business. Didn't spend a lot of money, bought the first few units, lost money because they were playing games. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had a plan, and I knew that I'm a numbers guy. So I knew if I kept buying, I kept learning, we'll be fine. That business with my partner, Francine, it did $90,000 the first year. Profit. Now let's contract what happened the year before. And I didn't work as hard. So it's not about how much money you make. It's what you keep, it's what you need, what your margins. So the big deal of that year was, the really big education was I learned the importance of margin and net. And, I got my videos, no eBay, no Amazon, and, people, they talk all this stuff because I say this thing, but see, I'm in all these groups and I look at the numbers and I see a trend. Margins are doing this. Cha, 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 cha. And there's a reason, because they're scaling up, they're spending more money. As you scale up, you got to hire people. You can only go so far by yourself. I don't care. There's some guy, I believe he did $1 million by himself, and you got these tools, but there's only so far you're going to go when it's just you. And the minute that you put carbon-based life forms into the equation, your margins start to cramp up, because employees are the number one biggest expense of most businesses. Next to, it's either rent, employees, combination, those two things, huge. So the minute you start doing that, it just changes up. And that's one of the reasons that, for me, because, there were many people who are on YouTube were just like stunned that, how could I leave such a lucrative business? But once again, I'll walk you through the storage auction deal. I still had to spend money. I've had, several businesses. I had like a residential furniture business where I was ordering containers. I had to spend money. Sometimes I had $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 just dead money while I'm waiting on the stuff to ship here, which was 6 weeks back then, 6 to 8 weeks. I think it's faster now, but those are the lessons I learned. And that brings me up to this the businesses I'm doing today, which are information business. I don't have to spend money to make money. I don't have to wait on inventory. I have an excellent distribution system in the internet. So all of those lessons I learned from the physical world of selling, physical products and meeting with people, I apply that stuff to this. And that's the reason, when I started Conundrum Publishing, which was the business for the first book, it was successful, even because I didn't know what to do. From a writing standpoint, I was a neophyte, didn't know what I was doing. But from a business standpoint, I was a ninja. And since I had those business skills, I was able to turn a product that was not the best. The information was great. If you use the information, you made money. It's just the presentation of the information was jacked. But the fact that I had business skills, I was able to do something. And I was a member of several writing groups. I've known people damn near 20 years who are writers. I used to go to writers conferences because it took me like 3 tries to actually make it happen. And I know many of those people who cannot live on their craft. And I can, because I have business skills first, and then the artist stuff came second. And if you were a creative person, that's just going to make you cringe. No, it's all about bleeding on the page and the muse. And I used to paint, draw. So I got the artistic mind, but I'm telling you, if you're an artist, you need to develop some business skills. Check out Charles Bibbs. He has a degree in business, and he's one of the few artists that was able to make a living off of his art. He controlled the distribution, he controlled the licensing, and he made a lot of money from a very beautiful and stylish product. But you got people who get caught up in this passion movement, and then they wonder why they're not making any money. So that's what having a small business will teach you to do. And that's one of the things. And oh yeah, another G tip. Don't ever tell a woman that you're dating that your business did 1.2 million. She will start hanging fucking drapes in your house. And I was just like, I'm like, okay, this is the business. It's like, oh, you'll do fine. I mean, this chick started making plans. And I don't even think that she even liked me, but she would like the potential. Check for that. So it was just a whole crazy thing. But when you start your small business, those lessons that I learned under the umbrella of being in the United States Army were valuable lessons. But I didn't go homeless, and I didn't have any kids at the time. And I'm telling you, once again, I'm going to say this again. If you're 16 to 25, go out and do you. Travel. Do not be in a hurry to fam up. Fam can be great, but I'm telling you, it is going to be so massively hard for you to chase your dreams when you do that, because once you do that, I love you, we are family, white picket fence, and the dog and the kids, then you can't make a move because it's no longer just you. You can't make that move. And typically, if what you're doing is working and you have a spouse, when they see these wild out business ideas or wild ass schemes like WAS, fear will come in. So your support system may be your enemy. And that's something that I went through, because at least I had those failure points to learn before I got in that situation, which gives you a great deal of resilience. You become very resilient, really resilient, and you learn how to weather storms. But I'm just saying, 16 to 24, start a business, travel. Make sure you go to at least 3 continents before you do all the wifing up and hubs up. 3 continents, hit 3 at least minimum. See other people, go off the beaten path, because this stuff will help your business. Because one of the things that happens with many people, and I see it all the time, they want to be like me, but they don't want to walk my walk. They don't want to go through the fire. They don't want to get beat down. They don't want to have those long days. It's like, oh shit, this was a bad decision. Don't want to go through that. Just want to leapfrog over that as if they were Superman or Spider-Man on the web, and then land on victory. Not going to happen. For most of you, there'll be a unicorn out there, but for most of you, it's not going to happen. So with that, the small business tip is something that you can start in an hour, is something that an hour a day can get you there. If you're making $50 a month, that's a win, because you're making money. You're making money. So think about that when you are out there trying to leapfrog over your success points. The success points are those dark days, when you're working, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, you're working, no one's up. That's the success point. You can't leap over that stuff and get to the success. So that's the deal. So if you like the content, be sure to go under the video and check out the playlist. Be sure to get on the mailing list, because there's several. I'll do a lot of stuff, and you'll get content based upon what you pick. So with that, check it out, and I will see you in the next session.